Send weapons to Moldova, says the Foreign Secretary, or risk it becoming the next Ukraine. It comes as images show Ukraine's final hours defending Mariupol, now fallen to the Russians.
The Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has spoken by telephone to the leaders of Sweden and Finland to demand they take concrete steps to end support for what he called terrorist groups. Now, both countries applied this week to join NATO, but Turkey, a NATO member, has threatened to derail their bid, which needs unanimous approval. Mr. Erdogan accuses the Nordic countries of supporting Kurdish militants, including the separatist group, the PKK.
Good evening. There is another Eastern European nation that needs military support, according to the Foreign Secretary. It is Moldova, Ukraine's neighbour to the west. Moldova also has a breakaway Russian region. Currently, it is not a member of NATO, but Liz Truss says its defence needs to be of NATO standard to see off any future Russian aggression. Meanwhile, haunting images have been released showing the final days the Ukrainian defenders of Mariupol spent inside the Azovstal steel plant there. Both Moscow and Kyiv confirm they have all surrendered now, leaving the port city entirely in Russian hands. Rachel Younger now reports from the capital, Kyiv.
It is a haunting glimpse of all that's left of Azovstal. Defeated and deserted now, but forever a symbol of Ukrainian resistance. These images, captured by one of the last fighters to surrender, both the steelworks and Mariupol itself, now fully liberated. Those are Moscow's words, and these are the consequences for the men inside. Video released by the Russian Defense Ministry showing their departure for territory now in Russian control. In a show of force, the ministries also released this footage. Its soldiers are now relentlessly shelling the Donbass, trying to forge a land bridge through to Russia, with no care for those in the crossfire. No wonder these twin girls cling to their father. He's all they have left after their mother was shot in the head as she tried to cook outside their basement. I'm trying to work out how to get them out of here, says Dmitro. Imagine the fear then in neighbouring Moldova is home to a Russian-backed separatist regime. The Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss, writing in The Telegraph today that she wants it equipped to NATO standards to guard against the threat of Russian invasion. But Putin's ambitions have already destroyed countless lives. Ukraine this weekend burying more of its dead, while the living somehow muster the strength to fight on. Rachel Younger, ITV News, Kyiv.
President Zelensky has said that diplomacy is the only way the war with Russia will end. Ukraine's leader suggested his military had broken the back of Russia's army, but that a resolution would only emerge from negotiations. As Russian forces intensify their attacks in the eastern Donbass region, here the Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss, has said that Ukraine's neighbour Moldova should be armed with NATO military equipment to help guard it against the threat of a Russian invasion. From Kyiv, our correspondent James Waterhouse reports.
Ukraine's resistance is far from waning, but in the Luhansk region, it's going backwards. It's an area Moscow claims will soon be in Russia's control, and they're throwing everything at it. Sergei Tokarev, a coal miner, still tries to evacuate people, even with his van riddled with bullets.
I have to help people. There are grandmothers and grandfathers, people with disabilities who remain. They have to be pulled out.
Russia's gains are only a few miles here. People in the Luhansk region are used to 8 years of war already, since Russia backed separatists in 2014. For some, the fighting has finally reached their doorstep.
My daughter is in France and my son is in Poland. I told them about this and they told me to immediately leave. But how can I leave? This is our home.
The invaders are looking to surround the town of Severodonetsk and are resorting to their age-old tactics of bombarding it from the outside. On the third anniversary of his landslide election win, a firm handshake for President Zelensky from Antonio Costa, the Prime Minister of Portugal. He used the occasion to give a message to the countries yet to send his weapons.
I'd like to remind people that we're fighting a war on our territory. And even if someone in European countries or the world got used to Donbass being a Russian-occupied territory and to the fact that people were given out Russian passports there, we'd like to say it's not a good thing to get used to. These are our territories, and we're going step by step to liberate our territories.
Ukraine's leader, though, believes peace will only come from talks. Given the current lack of dialogue between the two sides, it's a long way off. Feeling the silence instead, the continued brutality of this war.
And James is in Kiev for us now. James, President Zelensky says that diplomacy is the only way forward. Is he likely to be right?
I think today, as we speak, that is the most likely scenario, because you just have to look at the others for this war to end. A change of heart possibly from Vladimir Putin, or even a change of leadership in Moscow, both far less likely. Equally though, Ukraine's resistance isn't going anywhere and isn't likely to, with continued support from the West. And look, I think when we look at this eastern region where the fighting now finds itself, I think we're going to continue to see reports of new Russian assaults and Ukrainian counterattacks. And whoever ends up in control of these territories at the end of this war, you have to start asking the question, what will be left?
As the war in Ukraine continues, concern has been expressed that it's not getting as much attention as it was a few weeks ago. It's why the University of London's Imperial College Business School has tried to raise awareness. Here's Guy Lynn.
Music for Ukraine at this event at Imperial College to show solidarity for what's going on with those affected, like the family of Andrei, a university professor in the UK whose mother was killed a few weeks ago in the besieged city of Mariupol.
I found out about her fate from the neighbors who found her body, but I don't know what happened to the body. They dragged it out of the house and left it. They couldn't bury her because it was just too dangerous.
And what has that been like for you to have to go through this?
I can't really forgive the Russians for doing that. It is, my mom is 85 years old. She was an invalid.
For those here, this wasn't just fundraising, but awareness raising. Everyone was told to try to turn up wearing Ukraine flag colours, amid some concern that in recent weeks, Ukraine, battling with other news, has started to slip down the agenda in the minds of the public.
It's going off the front pages, different types of stories are coming along, so these types of events are imperative.
There are millions of women and children who need our help, and this event is very much for us to stand in solidarity with Ukraine. While the war continues to rage on, we will continue to stand in solidarity and try to do everything we can to help these Ukrainian women and children.
As well as music, there were lectures. Ukraine, say those here, needs to be remembered. Guy Lynn, BBC London.